Boogie, please go tell somebody. Go tell somebody it's your homie HerbMan. And excuse all the noise in the background, folks. Ought to get prepared for this when we come on to the show. But excuse all of that. But at the same time, man, I am your neighborhood holistic practitioner. I'm your homie HerbMan. All we do simply on the HerbMan show is teach people how to heal themselves. And you cannot heal yourself if you do not know thyself. All right, you guys. So we're coming on here live from South Africa. We're live on TikTok and YouTube. Let me get you guys to get good positions to get into this screen right here. And we're going to get this information going, you guys. Hey, look, anytime somebody tells you to get in tune with nature, the biggest thing I tell everybody is that you should be questioning, what is the frequency? What's the channel? Okay? If you're going to tell me to get in tune with nature, tell me what channel that I need to tune in to, right? So we're talking about proper tuning, okay? Proper tuning is going to be necessary for a lot of us to understand how to get back in tune with nature. Now, time and time again, we keep writing this particular thing down and kind of teaching you guys about the difference between energies and species and how we really have that kind of messed up. A lot of times when we're talking about energies, for some reason our mind goes into species, right? And so we start looking at male and female attributes, and we start looking at the masculine and female, or we start looking at the male and female species as to the first thing that comes to mind when we're talking about energies. And that's what we're messing up at, okay? The Bible is not talking about the male and female species. There were no such thing as Adam and Eve. Even if there was nobody to quantify their beginning. There was nobody there to write their story. Okay? Let me repeat that one more time. Even if Adam and Eve was real, who in the hell was there to chronicleize their story? There was nobody there to write about Adam and Eve, you guys, okay? So the best thing that we can do is look at Adam and Eve as energies, not as species, because there was nobody there to chronicleize their beginning and tell us their story. Adam didn't write their story, Eve didn't write their story, and they didn't have a publicist there to write it either. Okay? There was nobody there to write their story. Okay? So the story that you're reading is about two energies having to create a dynamic in which they are created as dualities, needing to work into a simultaneous concerted effort, meaning that they needed to work as one. It's a dynamic of where these two energies that can create anything by themselves and together finally realized that they wanted to work together as one. And it's the same thing as your left brain and your right brain. It's the same thing as your masculine energy and your feminine energy within you. They're needing to learn how to work together as one. And a lot of times when we're trying to dig into our bodies to create some type of healing or some type of healing dynamic, then guess what? You have to call on the other part of you that you ain't been working with for all this time. You and your feminine energy have been fussing all this time, but now you need her. Okay, you and your feminine energy ain't been getting along all this time. Now you want to be her friend. Now you want her healing. Now you want her reconciliation. Now you want her rejuvenation. Now you want her creativity. Now you want her imagination. Now you want her wealth. Now you want her intuitiveness. Now you want her discernment. Now you want her holyism, right? Now you want her spirituality, but you ain't been talking to her all this time. Okay, so when you want to call on your brother and sister within you that you ain't been talking to all the time, obviously we know it's going to be a little difficult for you to get to where you need to be or get the things that you need to have from that sibling that you ain't been talking to and that you've been frowning up at all this time, right? So that's what we teach you here on the HerbMan show, okay? You cannot heal yourself if you do not know thyself. So we teach you about the human frame and the human design so that you guys can be well on your way to happiness, wholeness, and wellness, okay? But you got to understand that, yes, this is free information. You don't have to pay for this information as long as you're on the station, okay? All you got to do to pay for this information is simply pay attention. And how you do that is by double tapping that screen and getting us up to 100,000 likes during this live. How we get started is once we get to 1,000 likes. And since we're already there, we're already on our way down that road, okay? Now, precise tuning, okay? Precise tuning. When somebody tells you that you need to get back in tune with nature, or if you are considering trading out the modern medical system for a traditional medical system, then this is the system for you. Okay. Now, for a funky, measly $50, we offer a program, not a product. There is no panacea product, but there is a panacea program. Okay. And what we're trying to do is offer this nature-based intervention for each and every one of you that are considering leaving medications, leaving modern medical facilities alone, leaving the modern medical system. You need to have an alternative. We ain't just going to rip the pacifier from the baby mouth without giving it some kind of sustenance in return. Okay. So now, if you are wanting or interested ever before in your life, getting in tune with nature, you first must know how to get in tune. Understanding that nature and all things inclusive under nature works in waves. Okay? Everybody follow me. Nature works in waves. All right? There's no way for you to get in tune with nature if you don't know what the waves are. Now, we have already discovered that nature is at 7.8 hertz. Okay. Now, we know that these are brain waves. So now we understand that the brain waves can get to that hertz. And what they call that is the theta. Okay. Theta. Please write this down. You guys, please keep tapping as I keep talking. Write this down. I know I got a lot of people on TikTok, a lot of people on YouTube that are watching that want to learn how to heal themselves, how to get back in tune with nature, how to do all this stuff. The first question you must ask anybody selling you how to get back in tune with nature is, what is the channel? The channel is 7.8 hertz. How do you get there? Through waves. Okay, now these waves are going to be, in other words, energy. Another word you might call it is vibes. Another word you might call it is frequency. Okay, so those are the words people use for waves: energy, vibes, and frequency. The only way to get in tune with nature is first know the tune, and then now understand how to get into the waves. Your brain waves at the theta level gets to 7.8 hertz. Okay. All right. Everybody get that? Your brain waves at the theta level starts to get into this 7.8 hertz. What are you doing at that level in the brain waves? Okay. What are you doing at that level in the brain waves? Meditation, creativity. Okay. What's so important about meditation and creativity is that, especially for meditation, okay, meditation, sleep, rest, okay. So we'll put all of these: sleep, rest, relaxation, okay. All of these things here will induce the most antioxidant substance in the body. This is an antioxidant. The reason why melatonin is going to be very good as an antioxidant is because melatonin is not only good for your sleep-wake cycle, but it's also going to be a skin lightener. A skin lightener, to me, when you're in a sun world, living as the children of the sun, following the Helios Biblios, which is the Holy Bible, which is the book of the sun. All this time, you being sun people would need some type of skin lightener. What this is letting me know is that melatonin is going to give me a buffer for the environment. I wish I had some doctors on here right now. Instead of some sick folk, I wish I had some doctors so y'all could see that what we're talking about is A1 educational level studies. Whether you are in the medical field, whether you are in the metaphysical field, whether you are in the spiritual paradigm, or whether you're in just absolutely the mental health field, you'll see where I'm coming from, and you'll be able to understand that that boy is on to something. Now, with that being said, another thing about melatonin, so we know that melatonin got that skin lightener, and since we are children of the sun, since we are reading the book of the sun, and since we are in a sun world, then we know that we need some kind of what? Buffer from the sun. Melatonin is giving you that, which means that guess what? That's going to be very key to body preservation. Okay, remember body preservation. Somebody please put body preservation down in the chat, please. Somebody please, one of my moderators, put body preservation down in the chat. You know, I got a live-in moderator over here, so I know how to look back over my back here and let her know what I need. You feel me? Okay, so we're coming live from South Africa, you guys. You keep tapping, I'll keep talking. Let's get us up to 100K. Melatonin, we realize, is a skin lightener, which people of the sun is going to have some type of attribute like that in order to survive the times. Now, what we're really trying to teach you about is when we're trying to tell you about the owner's manual for your measly little $50, when we're trying to tell you about how to get in tune with nature, what are we really trying to tell y'all to do? Who've been with me long enough to know really what my point is? Is it 120 years? Is it everlasting life? What do you think my point is in teaching y'all this? Somebody, really quick. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this. What is my real point in teaching y'all this? Is it to live 120 years or everlasting life? How many of y'all know? Thank you, Miss Cave. Y'all go follow Miss Cave right there, okay? Go follow Miss Cave because she's got the point. The point is to be able to live everlasting life. The first thing that you got to learn is what happened to why we couldn't handle that feat. And a lot of it is because we didn't value the lower self, aka we didn't value Adam, aka we didn't value the body. Okay? We didn't value the body. So guess what we used to do? Look, it was trial and error. So what we used to do is sometimes we used to starve ourselves too much. So the body would die when we would be in meditative sessions. Sometimes we would fast too long. Another word for starving. Fasting too long. Now you got to your spiritual heighten, but the body fell off, so you can't come back to the body to tell us about the journey. So we started this thing called mummification around right before Alexander the Great started to come in and take all of the information, right? This mummification thing was a piece to the afterlife journey that people don't seldomly talk about, right? And so what happened is when we started learning mummification, we started to understand that preserving the body preservation was key to the afterlife journey so that the person can have something to come back into. So you can tell us about the journey. Okay? You got to have something to come back to. But because we monks and we are gurus and we are yogis and we're going into these meditative states and we're putting the body through so much stress of starvation, of overconsumption or whatever, however you getting there, that you can't come back into the body because we undervalue the importance of the body to afterlife. To live everlasting life is not just a spiritual thing, it's a physical one. And the people who are being defeated by this knowledge are being defeated by time. Time is the nemesis to everlasting life. The only enemy to everlasting life is time. How do you beat time? You have to learn how to preserve your body. Now let's get back to what you have inside of you that can preserve your body. Now, melatonin preserves the skin as a skin lightener to the sun. So you have an automatic functionality here, meaning that you have something already comes internally that knows how to deal with the sun banging on the skin, which is something that you got to deal with when we come to everlasting life. Now, another one is this antioxidant. All right. So this antioxidant right here is going to act as a what? Okay. This is going to act as a what? It's going to act on your age, your aging process, right? So now I got something to keep my skin tight and light. I got something to keep my skin not aging, my organs not aging. I got something that's going to also be intact to my sleep and wake cycle. Right? So if it keep me sleep, then guess what? It keeps me young. So what keeps you sleep? Anybody know? What's the best natural thing out of the sun, the water, the earth, and the air? Which one keeps you sleep better? Out of the sun, the air, the water, and the earth, which one is attributed to some good sleep? Vivica said the air. Good answer, baby, but you're wrong, okay? Good answer, but you're wrong. Nico said the air. Now, Nico, you one of my star students. You missed that answer, okay? Water, that's incorrect. Everybody go follow Gladys, okay? Gladys Kravitz and Queen Gma, okay? Queen Gma, go follow those people because they got that answer right, okay? The sun, the more sun you get, the better sleep you get. So now when we're talking about vitamin D deficiency, we're not just talking about sunlight, we're talking about sleep time. Okay? So now when the doctor tells you that you vitamin D deficient, just don't check off if you've been in the sun. You need to be checking off how good your sleep been. Because the two go hand in hand. Vitamin D deficiency ain't just about sunlight. Check your sleep. Okay? So now, this little thing here that we're coming from nature, being in tune, I get in tune with 7.8 through my brain waves, through my theta level brain waves. All right. We know that at that theta level, that means that in my meditative state, I can get in tune with nature by meditating, period. I can get in tune with nature by meditating, true meditation. That meditation is going to activate, right? Meditation, sleep, rest, and relaxation activates my healing component in me, which this man has been teaching us is melatonin. The reason why the man keep telling you about rest is because melatonin is the self thing that's in you that is your self-healer. Now, melatonin is also one of the biggest antioxidants you have in your body. Antioxidants is going to help out with oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is the only reason your body will diminish in this paradigm. If I have a handle on oxidative stress, I got a handle on body preservation. On the topical and the internal, on the external and the internal, I must have an antidote for oxidative stress. In order for me to live in this body for everlasting, past 120 years, without getting these wrinkles and without my bones breaking and without my organs failing, is that I must know how to body preserve. One of the best things the body preserve that I got innate in me that comes with me through birth is melatonin. It's not an herb. It's not a food. It automatically comes in the body. This is your self-healing activator right here. But you got to know how to activate it through getting in tune with nature, which ain't nothing but simply, meditation. He didn't even tell me about that. This is what meditation was all about, getting you in on the channel with nature. Getting you on the channel with nature allows you to learn how to ride the waves, the brain waves. So your brain waves can change when nature changes. So you can be on the frequency with the planetary alignments and the influence that they're sending down, all of that electromagnetic wave or frequency or energy that's being thwarted toward Earth. Now you can understand it. Now you can communicate with it. Now you can pick up the language. You know when it's saying valley time or when it's saying mountain time. You know when it's saying high time but when it's saying low time. You'll know when it's saying bow or when it's saying bull. You'll know when it's saying my time versus let it pass. You'll know when it's talking about my time to heal versus my time to be sick. You'll know when it's saying my time to be alone versus my time to be together. You'll be able to know the wind, and the wind is for the wind. The knowing when is going to be for the win. Okay? And a lot of you guys are coming into this thing not understanding the value of the rest because nobody ever told you what comes out of sleep. The most healing component you got in your body. But we also teach you this in another dynamic. Y'all have seen it. I'm teaching you from this play, but all the time when you tune into the show, we're teaching you from another play. What we do is just write down the waves, okay? Okay? So you know right now that sleep, rest, concentration, focus, meditating, relaxation, you know that that's important now for a reason. Not just for you to sit there and start snoring all night, but it's for you to start restoring. But we also now understand that this is the entrance, it's the portal into being in tune with nature. Meditating, right? Meditating. Meditating on what should be your next question. Meditating on what? When I meditate, what exactly am I doing? Okay. Remember that this is all about precise tuning, how to get you to tune into this channel. Okay. You must understand the value of rest, just like the value of a zero that you see in numbers. It holds value. Just because you ain't doing nothing don't mean you ain't doing nothing. When your body ain't doing nothing, it's doing something. And that is the value that you must discover when you're talking about healing yourself and healing your mental illness, cognitive health issues, and your physical health issues. It is in the rest of the mind and the body, but you got to know when to do that. Okay. So we teach you about these things right here. Okay. So I'm going to write this up here. And you get all of this in your owner's manual for a measly, funky $50. So we teach you this just in looking at the waves. Okay. Life comes in to us in the form of waves, in the form of frequency, in the form of energy. Okay. Life comes at us in the form of waves. Okay. This is the Tropic of Cancer or the Arctic. Okay. The Arctic. Okay. This is the Tropic of Capricorn. Okay. The Antarctica, right? This would be what you would call the equator. Okay. March 21st. The sun goes up. That's the wave. Okay. This is the wave. Not just for snowing, it's for restoring. There you go. So this is the wave. We got north, we got south, we got east, and we got west. Anytime that you're pointing north, east is going to be to your right. I want you to understand the east is to the right. So this would be feminine energy right here. This would be your masculine, your spiritual time, your high tide, everything. How many people understand what I just told you just then? Anytime you're facing north, anytime that you're looking at the natal chart, if you're doing sidereal, if you're doing tropical readings, especially tropical, Anytime you're doing tropical astrology, you got to imagine that it's always starting from the north. So that means that east is always on the right side. Okay. It's always on the right when you're facing north. East is always on the right when you're facing north. This is how you got to know where you're at. Okay. East is always on the right when you're facing north. Okay. Now watch this now. Watch this. All right. These are also going to be your solstices. Okay. So your solstices, and then you got your also what we call the equinoxes. Okay. Remember that the longer the day will be considered summer, the shorter the day would be considered winter. Okay. That's your solstices. When the day is equal day and night, that's your equinoxes. Okay. So that's what's going to allow you to understand when spring comes into play. All right. Now, this is starting to look like what we've been talking about, but this is really the sun ecliptic, the ecliptic of the sun, which is what I like to call the zodiac wheel, but what I also like to call Ezekiel saw the wheel way up in the middle of the owl. You can also see the DNA strand in here. You can also see the yin and yang, the masculine and feminine energy. You can also see all of the dualities that we've been teaching about is all in this particular dynamic, right? Okay, now we put the zodiacs in here. Okay, ATGCLV, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and a Pisces. Okay, all right. So now, if this is March 21st, this is going to be June 21st. This is September 21st. Now we know the new year start on the 23rd, but we're just going to keep that as the theme. This is December the 21st. Okay. So right now, this is going to be considered the spiritual time. The feminine energy. The spiritual time is the high tide. Your most high state. This is going to be the physical time. Okay? Masculine energy. This is also going to be the low tide. Okay? This means the work. This means the rest. Okay? Some of you guys are in situations to where you're supposed to rest, but you're working the hell out of the body. Some of you guys is in a situation where you're supposed to work, but you're resting. Okay? And so therefore, because you don't have any continuity when it comes to nature and the waves of nature and that 7.8 hertz up here, and for you to get into this particular time, you don't know how to get into it. So if your healing is over here, but you over here, how you gonna get into it? Okay? How y'all gonna get into it? If you got questions or concerns, you guys, please leave them in the comments over here on YouTube, over here on TikTok. If you got questions or concerns, please leave them in the thing. If you're interested in your owner's manual, please DM us and we'll get you the information that you need. But you see, this is the sun's ecliptic. This is following the Son of God. This is the light path, the light path. This is the life path. This is numerology. This is astrology, astronomy. This is the biological clock. This is GPS, like literal GPS system. This is what this is. But you guys don't know how to ride these waves. You don't know how to ride the low tide, or you don't know how to ride the high tide. What do most people do when you get a low tide? Anybody stay around water, stay around the coastal area, stay around the beach? What is the first thing, or what is the one of the things that you see people do when there's a low tide? Because I'm going to show y'all how to ride these fucking waves of life. So you'll know what I mean when I tell you about being in tune with nature. You haven't seen this illustrated this way, but you're going to see it today. Okay, we're going to take a little time to teach each and every one of you. Can you send me the info to order the Irish moss, please? I don't have any info for you to order that, okay? I'm in South Africa. Okay? I'm in South Africa. So that's all I can tell you about that. If you're missing the moss, I apologize. We'll try to get some to you as soon as possible. Some people said walks, okay? Because the tide has recessed, you can walk on the beach. Good answer. What's another one? I have my own amount where I need an adjustment to it. I've tried to contact you twice. Dunya, I don't know what your adjustments are, but this ain't the place for it. If you don't want to get cussed out, don't come on here talking about your order. You know how to get in touch with me. Email me. Okay? I don't mind cussing you out today, Dunya. Okay, thanks, Lisa. What else we got here? Fishing. Yep. When it receives people's fish, people swim. Okay. People look for shells. All right. The revealing deep thoughts about your life. Nicole, ain't nobody doing that during no low tide. Okay. But what we just got right there is when there's a low tide, people get out and start to do what? They start to do the things that you can't do during the high tide. Listen to what I just said. When there is a low tide, people start to get out and do the things that they couldn't normally do during the high tide. Let me repeat that one more time for the people in the back. When there is a low tide, people get out and start doing. It's the do time. Not the DEW, but the DO. The low tide is the do time. Not the do, not the DEW, but the DO. Somebody put that in the chat, please. That the low tide is the do time, which is why I said work. It's that time to go do what you was going to do. The low tide is the time of doing. The high tide is the time of resting. Some of you are doing when you should be resting. There's no way that we can raise up the physical energy of your body to heal itself if you're completely going against the wave of life and going against what the body or life is telling you to do. So let's say you're over here, you're in dialysis, but you got to go to work. You got to do this. You got to do that. You're paying the bills. You got cancer. You're doing what you got to do. You're still going to work, still clocking in. You ain't got enough family around you. You don't got enough friends. You don't got enough this. So you still got to be about life, or you just got a spouse that died. You still trying to, you ain't grieved. You ain't did this. You know, so you still doing when you're supposed to be resting, baby. So now when you call on healing, you ain't rested enough. The body is on go-go. The body is on sympathetic. Sympathetic, parasympathetic. Masculine energy, feminine energy. Cortisol, melatonin. You can call it what you want to. Okay? Call it what you want to. Cortisol, melatonin. Sympathetic, parasympathetic. Do, rest. Masculine energy, feminine energy. But the question is, do you know where you are? Do you know where you are? Some of you guys are exhausting the physical energy, not being able to really delve into body preservation well enough to salvage the problems that are going on inside of the body. Anybody thus far got questions before we get there? Okay? Anybody got questions thus far before we get there? Please keep tapping. I'll keep talking to you guys. Anybody got questions? Because I know you guys are listening, but I want you to follow me. When you're asking the body to do something, but you don't know where you are, you could be asking the body to simply do something that it just can't power up enough to do. Therefore, the more you know where you are, you'll know who to ask. Some of this healing power can't come from your body. It must come from your mind, from the spiritual side of you. Some of the healing that you're asking for, you have depleted your body so we can't get it from there. But it's still innately in you. So if we can get you to rest, meditate, relax, sleep, focus, concentrate, then we can produce melatonin and we can maybe start some of this antioxidant to get rid of some of this oxidative stress, to get rid of some of this acidity, to get rid of some of this insomnia, to get rid of some of this, right? So now we're actually calling on parasympathetic to get rid of some of this sympathetic. We're calling on rest to get rid of some of this work. We're calling on healing to get rid of some of this sickness. See, but you got to be able to do this. So now most of you, when you get diagnosed, you so bungled up and so fucked up in the head, you can't sleep. Now, I know you can't sleep because Ray left you the other day and you can't sleep because he ain't called you in a couple of hours. I know you can't sleep when that cancer diagnosis came. You couldn't sleep when the boss fired you yesterday because you trying to figure out where these bills coming from. That's keeping you up all night. So I know that dialysis and AIDS, you can't sleep on it. You can't sleep on that. So the very thing that's coming into here, keeping you sympathetically going, keeping you doing, keeping you working. You're trying to work yourself through the cancer, work yourself through the AIDS, work yourself through the dialysis, work yourself through the arthritis. And I'm trying to tell you that that's not the opposite of the condition that you're in. The condition that you're in is literally telling you you need to rest, but you can't. I got cancer, but I got to keep going. I got arthritis, but I got to keep going. I can barely move. I'm slumped over here like this, walking like this in the walker, but I got to keep going. Ain't no children here. Ain't no husband here. My spouse dead. My family gone. So the very thing that you need, you're incapable of producing. And so you're asking for medication to help you with it, activate it. You're asking for the herbs and the herbalists to help you activate it. You're asking for a Reiki healer to help you activate it. You're asking for the pastor to help you activate it. He can't even activate it within himself. He need to learn this too. You asking for the doctor in some kind of way to help you activate this thing that is really being activated by what I'm teaching you today. And for a funky measly $50, this is literally the eye-opening information we're offering people. How many of you know where you are to know what's required? Do I got anybody on here suffering from any kind of diseases who care to come up and chit chat? You can be invited onto the live. If you want to talk to me one-on-one, you can invite yourself on the live. We can come up, we'll talk about you, walk you through. I'll give you a free reading to allow you to see some of the things that you can go if you are willing to come up on the live. You don't get no free reading just by chopping it up with me in the comment section. But those that are bold enough to talk about what they got going on, then I'm willing to show you how this works. You see, because this is accessible to each and every human being on the planet Earth. And even if you don't know English, this is for you. Even if you're not black, this is for you. Okay? You don't have to believe in this. It'll still work for you. Okay? It'll still work for you. If you don't want to come up, but you're having problems, put it in the chat. Let me know what diseases you got going on. And let's start to see where you at and how we can help. You helped me yesterday regarding my migraines. Thank you, Afro. Hopefully I did that. I appreciate you. What if you know what's wrong, but you know something is, what if you know what's wrong, but you know something is going on? Kashana, what if you don't know what's wrong, but you know something is going on? Is that what you're asking me? You know something is wrong, but you just don't know what it is. Okay, Kayshana, give me your birthday. Let me show you. Let me show you what's going on with you. Kayshana, give me your birthday. I need the month, the date, and the year. Okay? We're going to help Kayshana today, you guys. Give Kayshana some love. Show Kayshana some love. Go and Google her. Go and follow her. Go and do whatever you got to do to show baby girl some love. Kayshana, 223, 1975. So how this goes is that you're going to get what we call a manufacturing date. Every owner's manual on the planet has a manufacturing date. Okay, so your manufacturing date we put in as MFG is going to be 2/23/75. Every owner's manual also comes with a model number. Okay, yours is also going to come with your 2 sun signs. The element that you are in this particular paradigm to manipulate. Obviously, you get your foods, your herbs, etc., etc. You're going to get spiritual tendencies, physical tendencies, all that type of stuff in your reading when you pay your $50, okay? But for right now, what we got is 223.75. So we know that from 221 to 321 normally, because a lot of people are born on the cusp. So February the 23rd is going to be, for sure, is going to be a Pisces, okay? A Pisces. So the biggest thing that you need to understand about this chart, and you get this in your owner's manual, okay, Shauna? Okay, so you're going to get this circle. You get all this information plus more in your owner's manual, okay? So right here is where you started at, okay? And this is also your destination. Your finishing line is your destination. So we already got destination. You look at a GPS, it gives you 2 coordinates, your destination and your current location. Well, guess what? We already got destination from the birthday. All right. Now, also, we're going to get current location from your birthday. Now, let's go back to birthday. 2/23/75. Okay. So to be born in 1975 means that you turned 50 this year. Okay. Each one of these zodiacs or each one of these months is also a life lesson. That life lesson transitions from 30 days to equaling 10 years. A lot of stuff y'all don't know about this, man. That's why we got to be back in tune with nature. So 10 years, and if you're 50, that means you 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years into Cancer. Okay? So really you're at the end of your Cancer and you're about to go into your Leo phase. All right? But I'm going to put you here just because that's where you actually are still. Okay? But really, you got 10 more years, which is going to be here. So you just now finishing up your little home affairs. For the last 10 years, since you was 40 years old, okay, Sherman, since you was from 40 to 50 years old, you've been dealing with children. You've been dealing with something going on with your mama, if she's still alive. And you've been just dealing with home and family affairs. That's all you've been dealing with since 40 years old. From 40 to 50, you had this onslaught of family issues that you had to get rid of, whether it was children, the mama, them, whatever. That's what you at. Why? Because that's where you're at in life. Okay? Watch Kayshana. She said it right. Okay? I don't know Kayshana. Right? So now we know that the whole objective is to get back here, but Kayshana is currently here. Okay? So now we've tracked her destination. We got her current location. Her destination is to get back to Pisces because that's who she originally is. That's going to require her to live at least 120 years old. To get back to your destination is 120 years old. In my estimation, if I can get you to live 120 years, I can get you to live 240, 360, and now we can get you punched into everlasting. All by showing you how the body preserves. Now, here we go. Kayshana, you are currently in the physical time, masculine energy, the work time, and the low tide of life. Every month, there are low tides, Kayshana. Every month, there are low tides. So, in essence, if you don't know nothing about low tide, I'm going to give you a new name for it, and we're going to call it the new moon. Okay? The new moon and the waning moon. The new moon and the waning moon gives you 2 opportunities per month to ride the wave. Okay? The high tide is going to be called the full moon. And then the waxing. moon. All right. So now we know when every month to ride this low tide to do what? To do the work, because you're in the do the work time. Okay. You're in the do the work time. Now, another thing that you got to watch out for, and when it comes to your health, is that because you're in this first decan of Pisces, is that you want to watch out for coordination issues. All right. Coordination issues, and then appetite. You can have some appetite issues and some coordination issues, all right? Just simply off of your birthday. Now let's keep it moving. 2 plus 23 is 25. 2 plus 5 is 7. So just breaking down these two numbers, the date and the month, we get the number 7. 1975 broken down will lead you to 17 plus 5, which is going to give you what? 22. Okay, 22 is going to break down into 4. 2 plus 2 equals 4. So I got a 4 and a 7, which means that you are a model 11 human being, Kayshana. You're not like every other air sign, okay? I mean, a Pisces. So we know that you're a Pisces, so that's a water sign. The opposite of a Pisces is always going to be a what? A Virgo. So that's your earth sign. And the fact that you are 11, your element is water. Off the rip, Kayshana, you're having a lot of mucus build up in the body due to your emotions. You're having a lot of emotional things going on in life. Okay? You are a water, earth person. So 9 times out of 10, you're dealing with a lot of lymphatic buildup, a lot of mucus, a lot of sinus buildup. You could be having a lot of dandruff, a lot of coal in your eyes when you wake up, a lot of toe jam between your toes. You can have just mucus coming out, acne. You can have, because mucus can build up in the body of a water, earth. Okay. The other part of it is the earth element. But let's just get to the critical, the 11. So we're saying to you that something's going on with guilt and unforgiveness and in your reproductive area. Guilt and unforgiveness in your reproductive area, whether it's fibroids, endometriosis, you done had your hysterectomy, you got PCOS, you done had something going on with your ovaries, things like that. So guard your reproductive system, because you have a tendency to allow guilt and unforgiveness to come in and wreak havoc on your reproductive system. I give you another one. You also have a tendency to have things grow and develop in the body. You could have a problem with growing hair, or you could have a problem with too much hair. You could have a problem with having little bitty feet or big feet. You could have a problem with having the right amount of cells or a whole bunch of cells, tumors, because of this water element. Also, watch your eyesight, because the pituitary gland, I teach this all the time. The pituitary gland is one of the master glands in cancerous situations. Also, spiritually, you got to watch out for delusion and loneliness. Something got you trapped in delusion and loneliness, or either guilt and unforgiveness, that is causing this mucus thing to go on in your body, that's causing this lymphatic thing to happen into your body. Okay? I'm having problem with the left eye. That's going to be the pituitary gland. Okay, but if you're having problem with your left eye, who controls the left side of the brain, class? Everybody knows this, so watch this now. Who controls the left side of the body, class? Which side of the brain controls the left side of the body? Which side of the brain controls the left side of the body? Which side of the brain controls the left side of the body? There you go. Twyla Hurd got it right, the right side. Which one is the right side? Remember I told you that if you facing north, if you facing true north, who on the right side? So this is what we're coming into, Kayshana, and this is where I'm going to leave you at, all right? You're having feminine energy issues, okay? You're having parasympathetic issues, which meaning that you're too sympathetic. So you got the hustle and bustle of life. It just got you all ran down. You're running down your sympathetic nervous system. So that means that your parasympathetic ain't clicking in. So how you know you got a malfunction over here in the feminine energy is because the feminine energy is the right side of the brain dealing with the left side of your body. Your left eye is an indicator that you're having problems with the feminine energy, with the spiritual things in life, with your emotional well-being. Okay? Automatically. Based on your disease, I could have told you this. I don't even got to take your birthday down at this point because I've been doing this for too long. But my point to you is that now we know. Also, Kayshana, when you get your owner's manual, you'll get the herbs. If it is that water condition, I'm going to give you some fire herbs. If you got the earth condition, I'll give you some air herbs. The foods that you need to do is going to be what? The blues and purples. Okay, it's going to be the yellow and orange food. So when you're going to the grocery store, you go shopping for more yellow and orange foods and go shopping for more blues and purples. If you don't know what those are, keep tuning in. We'll teach you guys about those. But at the same time, just Google that. Google that. And now you got your shopping list. You got the foods you need. I'm going to give you the herbs you need. Now you can go to your neighborhood herbalist. You ain't even got to bother me no more. You ain't even got to talk to me no more. But you got your health right into the palm of your own hands for a measly funky $50. And guess what? We didn't need no blood type, no blood sample. We didn't need to prick you, prod you, or poke you. We didn't need no hair sample, no stool sample, no saliva sample. We didn't need no urine sample. We didn't need nothing. It's non-invasive, non-intrusive, but it's also very inclusive. And it's very exclusive because it's only for you for that particular amount of money. You can't beat it. You can't beat it. So how do we do, Kayshana? Tell everybody, how do we do? You might was talking while I was, and I didn't know. What about for IBS, family? It's all going to depend on what the root is, okay? The root. But for IBS, I'm going to say grief and depression and self-control issues. Wow, you're amazing. Thank you. Kayshana, what you say? I ain't even get to see. Thumbs up. Okay, I got you. I got you. Okay. So the bottom line is, Kayshana, the root cause is spiritual. That's what I'm trying to get you to see, Kayshana. The bottom line is that the root cause of your problems is spiritual. Since our birthdays are close, does this apply to me too? Nah, it ain't going to apply to you too because I don't know what you're dealing with outside of the tendencies. You can have the same tendencies, but what you actually are dealing with, we don't know. All right. Everybody's different. Everybody's different. So you got to be a water, earth person to really have the same scenario as this particular person with also the same issues that they're having. Back pain, Pisces, back pain is not a disease. Is the native blend all equal parts of each herb? Yes. Yes, oh wow. Yes, it is. And you must have it in a blend. So how do I get the help? DM me. You DM me, we'll get you the owner's manual. Okay? You DM me, we'll get you the owner's manual. All right? So simply right there, we allow this person to understand how to be in tune. Okay? She knows she's in low tide now. She knows she's in the doing season. She knows she's in the working season, but she got to have her body be physically able to go through the PT test because you're in your PT test, your physical time. So you see how your body can run down while you're in the physical test, you won't make it through that. That's why it's very important for you to know where you are on the map of life so that you can start getting in tune with nature. Y'all need to just start calling this the wheel of life. The wheel of life. You get your foods, your herbs, you get everything you need in this live. Coming here from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm having an issue with my left eye too. Mr. Migraines, very similar. I'm in low tide. Yeah, because again, y'all are having problems with your feminine energy. A lot of women are having problems with their feminine energy, and a lot of men are having problems with feminine energy. It's the problem, really. It's the problem with all of us. Because if you wasn't having a problem with feminine energy, then your body will automatically heal those things like it used to when you were younger. You know your body automatically healed this stuff, right? I just taught y'all that, of how that happens. So we know you got an automatic healer in there. It was doing it before. Why it ain't doing it now? Because you've exhausted, you've exuded all of the energy that it takes when you're going against the tides of life. When you don't know how to ride the waves, you will exhaust yourself. Think about anybody that knows swimming. I don't know how many lifeguards I got on here, how many Navy guys, Navy SEAL, anybody that's been anything to do with water, when you throw somebody in the ocean, they only got minutes of dog paddling. You can dog paddle in that pool. It's a lot different dog paddling in the ocean, baby. You can't dog paddle that long before you have reached physical exhaustion. So my point to you is that when you don't know that, you stress down the body at the time when you need the body the most. So Afro is the physical energy, bro. I mean, it's that feminine energy. Yeah, you don't know how to rest. I see it as a challenge, not a problem, if not permanent. Yeah, none of this is impossible. None of this is impossible. Well, I know I'm having a problem because she put out, and I'm masculine energy right now. Help me. DM me if you guys need help. Okay, DM me if you guys need help. We're still offering for anybody to come up on the live. If you want to come up on the live, you can. We got about 45 more minutes, you guys. Let's get us up to 100K. All right, you keep tapping, I'll keep talking. But that's what you're getting here, and for you to kind of understand what you need to do in your time of need. If you're needing money, if you're needing relationship, if you're needing healing, you just got to let us know, so we'll be able to show you where you at versus what you want. Divine delay, you think is denial because you're asking for this shit at the wrong time. Okay? Barber shoots, I'll do you just because you old school, and I like to try to get my old schools in. Okay, so 1/1/63 is the manufacturing date. Okay, everybody knows that from 12/21 to 1/21 is going to be a Capricorn. Okay, so that means that you're currently right here. Your starting point is your finishing point. You need to get back right here, Barbara. Okay, this is your destination. Born in 63 makes you 62 years old. Okay, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 2 years in Cancer. So for the last 2 years, you also have been dealing with family affairs. Things going on with your family. I don't know what happened with your mama or your children, but you've been dealing with family affairs for the last 2 years. You are also in the physical time, the low tide, the work season of life. You're in the new moon and the the waning moon of life. So if you start to follow the new moon and start to understand how to get into the low tide in your doing phase, in your working phase, you're going to be fine. But here's the thing, Bob. You're already 63 years old in your physical time. Okay? You got 20 more years up here. At least you got 27 more years to be exact. So 27 more years mean that you're going to be, let's say 27 plus 63 is 90 before you make it out of here. You might not make it out of here if you don't keep your physical part of your body up. You are in the physical time of your life, Barbara. Your physical health is very important. Your body preservation, your physical energy is very important right now. If you get too sick in the PT time, you ain't gonna make it through. And remember, you got to get back here. So why fall short in the Leo and Virgo when I didn't reach my destination of 120 years, full cycle, full circle, being reborn again? All the stuff that you ever realize is when you understand it spiritually and you understand it innately, being in tune with nature. Following the path of the sun is the greatest thing on the planet Earth. If we know how to do it, we know how to get to where we're trying to get to, which is everlasting life. Okay? Which is everlasting life. Give me 1 second. All right, got to pay some bills on here. Another thing too, Barbara, that you need to look for, because you're in the middle deacon. Okay, the middle deacon of Capricorn. So off the rip, watch your bones. Okay, bones and body fat. Barbara, bones and body fat. Okay, bones and body fat are going to be the two main things you want to watch out for. Your model number, you are 2. 16 and 3 is going to be 19. 9 and 1 is 10. That's 1. 1 and 2 is 3. Okay, We already know that you're a Capricorn, so that's an earth. Every Capricorn, the opposite of that is Cancer, so that's the water. You are 3, so that's the fire in you. Okay? So you have a fire element, which means, Barbara, you love candles. You probably got a lot of candles around your house. Now, that's funny to have a lot of candles around your house being a Capricorn. You're not a fire sign. But you can find yourself having a lot of candles, loving the sunlight, love the sun gaze, sunbathe, love to be out in the sun, all because you are the element of the fire. You like to be around that heat. You got to have it. Okay? So we got that. Okay? Now, also because you're earth, water, fire, this lets me know that you have 3 different dynamics. Now, my biggest thing for you is to watch out for your yang deficiency. Yang deficiency meaning that it can happen to you at the upper right part of your body. I'm sorry, the upper left. Upper left. Yang deficiency. Okay? Yang deficiency, the upper left side of the body. So when you start having these issues from the waist up, check that left side of that body, okay? Check the left side of that body. Barbara Schutz is saying yes, yes, yes. Okay, so that's all we're trying to get you to see right there. The foods that you got going on, obviously, if you're dealing with an earth element, there's going to be some red foods there, water elements, some yellow and orange, blues and purples. If you're dealing with the fire element stuff, there's going to be yellow and orange and blues and purples as well, all right? So the main thing is to know exactly what you need. You get that in the owner's manual. If you're dealing with an earth condition, we'll give you some air herbs. If you're dealing with a water condition, we'll give you some fire herbs. If you're dealing with a fire condition, we'll give you some water herbs. All of that you get in your owner's manual. The biggest thing is to know that you're in that low tide, that new moon. So when you start playing your numbers, playing your stock market, Barbara, when you start doing all that stuff, your investments, do it in the bear, not the bull. And you're only going to go bear during the new moon. I'll show you how to do some wealth and some health things, okay? These are wealth and health tips. I keep coughing up phlegm and mucus. It's not a disease. I need diseases, okay? We don't go fishing for symptoms. We don't go fishing for symptoms, you guys, all right? If you guys are interested in your owner's manual, please DM me, and we will get you the information that you need. Now, quite simply, quite frankly, not trying to make this video too long, but make it very strong because I got about 30 more minutes left with you guys before we hang it up. This is what you've been looking for. If you've been looking for a natural alternative, a traditional means to your health, if you've been looking for something that can really get you back in tune with nature, understanding how to get there, breaking this science down. You can't get there if you ain't meditating. You can't get there if you're not imagining. You can't get there if you're not focusing and concentrating. You can't get there if you can't create any longer. So putting you in spaces to where we can get that brainwave into that theta so that we can get you back creative and imaginative and get you back meditative and concentration and focused on things. Then we can get you back into that contentment state, that peaceful state. Yes, sometimes life does quantify chaos because that's the Aries or the Aries type of constitution that we all have. Life can give you some chaos, but it's going to bring you peace. Life can have you bring things together. It can have you tear things apart. I want y'all to look at this. YouTube, I am putting up a sticker here or a illustration or receipt of the duality of the signs, right? Just to show people that you got these times, okay? Aries, create chaos. Libra creates peace, duality. Taurus sees the beauty, but the Scorpio sees the ugliness, duality. Gemini gets bored, but Sagittarius get passionate, duality. Cancer brings us together while Capricorn takes us apart, duality. Leo shows us the heart while Aquarius shows us the mind, duality. Virgo restricts themselves while Pisces let loose, the duality. So just understand that what you're seeking is there innately. The opposite of your sick is healing. It's there. The opposite of your poor is rich. It's there. But how can you activate the opposition to get over the oppression? How can you activate the opposition to get over the oppression? How can I transition into the phase of the thing that I really actually need and desire? You got to be able to understand how nature does it, and nature does it in cycles. In cycles. And if you understand things about cycles, then you understand that there's a time for sickness and there's a time for healing. So we just got to turn you. A cycle ain't nothing but a knob, right? You turn that knob and you tune in. You can cycle the channel over there to healing. Hell, that's what you do. You cycle that thing on over there to healing. Turn the channel. Manipulate the element. Okay? So, Barbara, the biggest thing for you, Barbara, is self-control, Barbara. Barbara Shoots, the biggest thing for you is self-control. If you don't handle your self-control, you can have digestive issues, blood sugar issues, along with some of that other stuff that we named earlier with the bones and all that type of stuff as well, right? So you want to make sure that you are handling your self-control. Self-control can spiral you down that rudimentary road of health issues because it is at the fundamental root of what may cause you some problems, okay? Self-control, Barbara. Anybody else? Anybody else? So you see what we're doing, right? Walking people through this time. The biggest thing for Barbara is to know that it's going to be more physical energy required, so she must pay attention to the physical health. Okay? Physical health. Okay? You're in your PT test. So you got to work that body some more, Bob. Sorry about that, but you got to work it some more. Yeah, self-control has been key for me. Okay, cool. Who else we got here? May J said gut health, 5/8/1966. Let's get this. Gut health, 5/8/1966. Okay, gut health, 5/8/66. Let's get it. Let's help her out. So from 421 to 521 is gonna make you a what? A Taurus. Okay, boom. This is your destination. You got to get back here around this circle. Now, you born in 66, so that's going to make you about 57 years old. I'm sorry, 58 or 59. I think you're about 59, right? This year, you'll be 59. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 9 years into Libra. So for the last 9 years, there's been some partnership or relationship things going on in your life. Either you looking for a relationship or you just ended one, okay? Also, you just came through a transition right here, okay, from Virgo to Libra. So from 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So from 45 to 55, you was in a transition. From 45 to 55 years old, something major, some kind of major life event happened in your life, May J, okay? From 45 to 55, some kind of major life event happened in your life, and now you're into your Libra phase. Now you're into your full moon, your waxing moon. Now you're into your high tide. Now you're into your rest, your spiritual time, your feminine energy. Now you're into your spiritual time. You don't need to be doing a whole lot of physical work during your spiritual time. This is spiritual time. Okay? This is spiritual time. Now, also, you are a model number. 5 plus 8 is going to be what? 5 plus 8 is going to give you 13. 1 plus 3 is 4, right? 16 plus 6 is going to give you 22. That's a 4. 4 and 4 is 8. Boom. We already see that you are Taurus, so that's the earth sign. The opposite of a Taurus is Scorpio, so that's your water. The 8 makes me know that you are fire. Okay, so you just like the last person, you're earth, water, fire, Taurus, which means that you are earth, Taurus, but your element is fire. You'll find yourself, May J, with candles and want to sunbathe and sun gaze and be out in the heat, saunas and all that. Love the heat. Love the heat, but you're an earth person, so you should be good with earth element. All Tauruses ain't the same. You are a Taurus that's good with the fire element. This is what specifications mean when we're talking about this owner's manual and why it's very important to break down this information. Now, if you're dealing with the earth condition, I'm going to give you some air herbs. Water condition, I'll give you some fire herbs. If you're dealing with the fire condition, I'll give you some water herbs. Also, the foods are also going to be the red foods, the purple and blue foods, and your yellow and orange foods, okay? If you're dealing with all that stuff. Your main spiritual thing for the 8, okay? Your main spiritual thing for the 8 is self-control. So you could be dealing with digestive issues, blood sugar issues, May J. All that can come from your self-control issues, all right? Now, because you were born in the middle decan of Taurus, then you definitely also want to watch out for throat issues as well as ovaries. I don't know if you're male or female, so your genitalia, okay? Genitalia issues, prostate issues, ovary issues, any kind of reproductive issues you want to be careful about as well. All right. Anybody else? If you want to get your chart, just DM me, you guys. DM me, and we'll get you everything that you need. God is M. You explained it so well. I'll be able to have this kind of understanding like you with the owner's manual. Yes, I mean, all you really need to know is your owner's manual. Okay. Once you get yours down packed, then that's all you really need to know. This is about you advocating for your own health, not about how to teach a class on this or how to teach this in a new age, a new way of doing this, that, and the third. You know, when it comes to teaching, it's going to be very difficult to teach this. But when it comes to you putting this in practical pursuit for your own health, it's very practical because you're getting the information in the palm of your hands. Okay, so it's very doable to do for you. It's a lot more difficult to try to teach this to the masses. May J say, thank you for the information. Yes, if you want to know more about the real herbs and foods you need, May J, then you know you can get your owner's manual. You can DM me for that. Candida is not a disease. Candida is a symptom. Okay, Charissa, it's a symptom. Okay, so you're just dealing with some autoimmune issues, some immune issues. You just got to strengthen your immune system. What can we do to balance our feminine and masculine energies? The only way you're going to be able to do the balancing act is to do the getting in tune with nature, which means that you got to meditate. Meditation and sleep is how we're going to do this, you guys. Anybody else ask me that question, I'm going to tell y'all the real aqua bougie. Meditation and sleep get you back in balance because that's where we can meet nature at its hurts. In your meditative state, in your focus and concentrative state, in that state of bliss, no thought, that state of superior consciousness, your most high state, which is your meditative state, your most high state, which is your sleep state. We got to be able to get you there and be at contentment with that and allow you to have a little bit more of that in life so that you don't keep on being on the chaotic side of life or the exotic side of life and you can't get yourself no peace. Peace and rest is a optimal value in this time and space. I don't know how many times I can preach that. Okay, what's going on, Divine Next, down there in the YouTube land? We appreciate you. If you got questions, just let me know. Take no thought. There you go. I'm 50, going through perimenopause is bad. Yeah, because you've been had hormonal issues all your life, Afro. You know, if you've been had hormonal issues all your life, they ain't gonna stop just because your cycle finna stop. They're gonna get bad because of those things being a part of your hormonal balancing. So menopause and all these PMS symptoms and all of this stuff are because your hormones are out of whack. You should not, as a woman, have premenstrual syndrome, just like you shouldn't have postmenstrual syndrome. Premenstrual syndrome is the same as postmenstrual syndrome because postmenstrual syndrome is menopause. Premenstrual syndrome is PMS. You don't need now one of them, the pre or the post. And that's going to be because of the hormonal balance, which means that your pituitary gland. Most women, pituitary gland is the issue. If that ain't the issue, it's the thyroid. But I'm beg to differ that digestion starts from the brain down, right? So now when you're talking about digestion starting from the brain down, then you got to go into some order, right? And that pituitary gland is sitting in high order. Most of our problems in pituitary, if you're having infertility issues, if you're having miscarriages all the time, if you're having reproductive issues, right? If you're having eyesight issues, if you're having alopecia, if you're having growth spurt issues and growth developmental issues, that's pituitary gland, baby. You having tumors and cancers, that's pituitary gland. The hormones, that's your hormones. Okay, if you got hair on your face, that's pituitary gland. If you got hair on your face as a man, pituitary gland. If you got hair on your face as a woman, pituitary gland. That's leading down to the reproductive organs, which is what? Your gonads, which is going to be your what? The gonads are going to be the glands. So now we're talking about the ovaries and the testes that also have to take direction from the pituitary gland. The reproductive glands are in direct connection with the pituitary gland. If you are dealing with anything growing in your body that you can't stop from growing, the pituitary gland. If you're dealing with things growing in your body that you can't stop growing, the pituitary gland. Okay, I have one son. I had a miscarriage before him. Okay, good. Hype him up. We appreciate you, Angie P. Thyroid gouter. Lauret tail. Lauret tail, the reason why you got a thyroid gouter is because you got a problem with trust and you're a very doubtful person. Okay? Lauret tail. I don't know if you got the thyroid goiter, but whoever got that thyroid goiter is a conspiracy theorist, thinking everybody can't be trusted, everybody's against them. And if you can't fix your doubt and trust issues, you're going to continue to have thyroid problems. That thyroid is a physical ramification of the spiritual issue of doubt and trust. Lord tell. Anybody else? That's how I really like to do it. You give me the disease, let me give you the spiritual thing. Let's just get to work. Whether y'all pay y'all little money or not, let's just get to work. Okay? You got these diseases and you want to know what the spiritual root cause of them is, let's just get to work. Just tell me. Let's just hash it out. Okay? Let's just hash it out. Ain't no need to keep on faking the funk with why I got this stuff. Because it don't matter what medications you take. A thyroid goiter, they're going to have you on medication for the rest of your life because you can't fix the doubt and trust. Anytime that you can't cure a disease, it's going to be mostly spiritual. When they say it's incurable, when they say you got to be on a lifetime of prescription, it's because it's mostly spiritual, which means it's mostly psychological. And there ain't no herbs and no meds for that. So they got to keep you on something for the rest of your life. Anytime that they tell you you got to be on something for the rest of your life, or they call it an incurable disease, it is a spiritual rudimentary problem first and foremost. You got to get rid of that spiritually. Okay? How to help it? Dear me, Jonisha, we'll get you what you need with the owner's manual. Crohn's disease is going to be grief and depression, and is also going to be self-control. Colon cancer, grief and depression, self-control, Nisi. I don't want to take medications, then you gotta get your owner's manual. That should be your next investment. That $50 is going to take you for the rest of your life. Okay? For the rest of your life, okay? And also with y'all little measly funky $50, y'all know that you got lifetime access to me. So you can save my contact. I am live in South Africa right now, but you can save my contact, download WhatsApp, and from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you guys can call me and I'll walk you through your owner's manual, okay? You get a lifetime access to me, all for by a funky measly $50. Where they doing that at? I heard the boy up the street charging $1,000 to talk to him, $300 to talk to his homeboy. So we ain't doing that over here, bro. We're not doing that over here. We're not gonna price gouge you. We're looking for $1 billion served, not $1 billion. Okay, heart vascular disease, that's gonna be grief and depression. Okay, anything dealing with the heart, Yvonne Shannon, grief and depression. Judea Clark, grief and depression. Okay, if you're exhausted, that's gonna be stress. Okay, stress, and that's also gonna be instability, Raymond. Even though exhausted ain't a disease. Dermatoid fibrosis, okay? Anytime you got things going on with the skin, you're going through a lot of emotional things, Chantel. Okay, emotional things, Chantel. If you keep your emotions in check, you don't get broke out like that, because your emotions will activate these chemical reactions that's going to start to have some things going on with your skin. Okay, diabetes, BK, is self-control. How to get rid of the thyroid garter? You need to get your owner's manual, Laura Tail. That's how you get rid of it. I don't do guesswork. What about a rash? Any kind of skin issues is emotional. Okay, any kind of skin issues. If you got things going on your skin, you got things going on with your emotional life that you need to deal with. It's going to be one or two things. Either it's going to be delusion and loneliness, or it's going to be guilt and unforgiveness. Check yourself. Guilt and unforgiveness or delusion and loneliness is driving you to go through some of these emotions that are causing these skin eruptions. The young people can see their future for real if they get their owner's manual and educate. Type 2 diabetes, Tanya Manning, is self-control. Diabetes is self-control. What's your opinion on high cholesterol? Your life is too acidic. Okay, anytime that you have a cholesterol problem, you also have a stress and instability. So you're on the go. You probably don't have a stable diet, a stable pattern of life that you're going through. So you stay in constant acidity, which means that the kidneys are going to have to produce bicarbonate, calcium bicarbonate, which is your most alkaline substance, to try to go and fight that acidity. What happens is that calcium gets stuck in the blood vessels. Okay. If you're asking for, you guys got to know cholesterol, okay? HDL means high density lipid. That means that that's a thick substance. That's thick. LDL means low density. So that means that it's not that thick, okay? Density means something that's dense. So a high density means that you have a thick glob of fat that is going through your bloodstream, acting like a sponge or a street sweeper. That's HDL. Now, normally you ain't got bad cholesterol until you got a fluctuation of your LDL. But here's the reason why. If HDL is the street sweeper, then LDL is the road repair crew. Now, if you really want to understand a problem, then understand that if you woke up in the morning to go to work during rush hour and you had a damn street sweeper and the road repair crew people out there during rush hour, would you or would you not build up traffic? Yes. So it is your fault for you keep calling the street sweeper and calling the road repair crew man out to do work based on your acidic lifestyle. If you didn't have that acidic lifestyle, they wouldn't have a whole lot of shit to street sweep and a whole lot of road to repair. High cholesterol is a lifestyle disease. It is a straight up indicator that you are living an acidic lifestyle and you calling for the road repair crew men to come out into your blood vessels a little too often, creating traffic jams that will ultimately have you taking medications. Okay, multiple myeloma. Yes, we got that too. That's grief and depression, but she can also get the owner's manual so we can give her her herbal blend. Diabetes, again, self-control issues. Okay. Narcolepsy and cataplexy, all that is going to be either self-control issues, or you need to be looking into attachment issues. People who are attached to their own wants, needs, and desires, their own belief system. People who are too attached to a certain way of how things gonna go, have this dependency that it should go this way, this expectation, this entitlement. Right. And when they get broken from those things, they can start having what you call nervous breakdown, or they can start having epileptic episodes, or they can start having seizures and all that type of stuff. Is because they are too attached to a way something's supposed to be, or they got some self-control issues. And that's what happens with that. Queen E. Tyler. How to get your owner's manual? You DM me and we'll get you the information that you need. Okay, DM me, we'll get you the information that you need. All right. Laureate tells yes, DM him for owner's manual. Yes, thank you, Angie P. Anybody else, you guys? We got about 18 more minutes on here, you guys. Migraines is an alarm clock. Okay, they are an alarm clock to something going on much deeper. Naomi, the thing that I can say about migraines is that you must watch your stress. and your instability. I don't know if you got some stuff going on with your job, with your relationship, or with your social life, but it's too unstable, and that instability is causing you to stay on the work, the to-go side all the time, the to-do side all the time, the sympathetic side all the time, and so there's no relaxation. And the migraine is saying, hey, you too sympathetic, you too, you know what I mean? You got too much stimulation over here. Let's calm us down. Relax me, motherfucker. That's what a migraine is saying. Relax me. Rest me. Rest my mind. Rest my body. Rest me. Migraines is simply telling you to rest. Okay? Naomi, rest, baby. Rest your mind. Rest your body. Kidney issues, same thing. Instability. Okay? Anytime you got kidney issues, you can have some instability. So there's some fear, there's some instability, there's some stress. There's, first of all, is hampering your adrenals way before it get to your kidneys. So you can find yourself being low energy, lethargic, having sleeping and everything. You know what I'm saying? You got them about to fall asleep at the movies. You're falling asleep in the chair. You fall asleep while you're driving. So you'll start seeing energy issues way before you start seeing kidney issues, because the adrenals get affected before the kidney. So people who want to watch out for their kidneys, watch out for your energy. Have a great understanding of your energy. Because before you wear down the kidneys, you would have had to wear down the adrenals. True, when I have a migraine, the only thing that provides comfort is sleeping. There we go, Afro. There we go. Tingling and numbness in the hands. Alejandro, if you got tingling and numbness in your hands, first and foremost, it could be neuropathy, okay? If you're dealing with neuropathy, though, now we got to see, is it a diabetic neuropathy, okay? That means it could be self-control issues. Is it attachment issues? Because right now you're telling me you have a nervous system issue with tingling and numbness in your hands, or you either got a circulatory issue. So you got to put it all together, Alejandro. Please don't come on here and give me no half-ass thing, because I can still figure your ass out because I know who you is, Alejandro, all right? But at the same time, I told you, if it's neuropathy or if it's connected to diabetes, you need to go deeper into the spiritual thing and look at your attachment issues or your self-control issues. It's going to be one or the other, or it can be both of them. But I know who you is, Alejandro. You know, I asked that 1,000 times. Vitiligo. Vitiligo, again, is not necessarily a disease. It's a symptom of some circulatory issues. So I'm going to say watch your mental health. Ismofol, okay? Watch your mental health. Watch your mental health. Watch your circulation, obviously, but watch your mental health. Okay, watch your. Now, if you're talking about the skin part of it, then watch your emotions. So if it's skin, watch your emotions. If it's the vertigo where you dizzy, then you want to watch your mental health. Anything to do with the skin, watch your emotions. Mo, insomnia, yeah, that's going to be attachment issues, Mo. Okay, insomnia got something to do with attachment issues. Something got you going to where you can't sleep. Okay, if it's not that, then it's also going to be the earth element, which can be stress and instability. Okay, skin is always going to be emotion, right? So ismofol, yeah, the vitiligo. That's what I thought you said. How you spelt it? Emotions. Both for myself, for me, self-control and attachment. Yes, a lot of us got it. I got sharp pain in my head after being beat, and I feel like a new person. Okay. Well, I'm glad that you feel like a new person. Sciatica. Sciatica is, again, the body is too sympathetic. You got the body doing too much and not enough rest, okay? So we know that sciatica is going to be about having some pinch in your L4, L5, right in your booty cheek, okay? So in order for you to be able to do that, is that you need to learn a lot about how to calm your nervous system. So I would implore you to go to YouTube and type in vagal tone, VAGALTONE. Vagal tone, VAGALTONE, and practice some of those vagal tones, which will send signals to the body to relax and will give you a lot more curative effect. But yeah, there's herbs and all that stuff that can help relax sciatica. But again, it's just a symptom. It's not a disease. Lately, I've been having itchy skin out the blue. Vagal tone, VAGALTONE, vagal tone. Okay. Thank you guys for the 100 or so thousand likes that we got, man. We appreciate all of you guys. We thank our YouTubers as well. We got about 12 more minutes with you. If you guys don't have any more questions, I'm going to let y'all go about y'all business. We come on every day between the time of 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, giving you what thus said nature, okay? This is the oldest record-keeping tool on the planet, okay? Let me repeat that one more time because I got about 150, 160 y'all in it. This is the oldest record-keeping tool on the planet. We utilize numbers. Your birth date is a number, it's a tag. That's all we need for mama to tell us what you need to be balanced in your life. Thank you for the emails. Thank you for the DMs, you guys. Thank you guys for all of your concerns, your interest. All you got to do is deal with me. We'll get you all the information that you need. We are mailing out natal blends currently. So if you guys want the herbs that come into your reading, this is a very good time to get them. You can go ahead and get them out, and we're issuing them out. And so nothing has changed with the mailing. Okay, everybody should be getting their stuff or in route to getting their stuff. What to focus on during meditation? Focus on the things that you are releasing. So if you have a problem with guilt and unforgiveness, focus on releasing that guilt and unforgiveness. If you have a problem with stress and instability, focus on releasing those stressors and that instability in your life. If you have a problem with doubt and trust, then focus on releasing doubt and trust. If you have a problem with attachment issues, then focus on releasing those attachment issues during your meditative process. If you have a problem with self-control, then we want to focus on releasing self-control during our meditative state. Okay, that's what we want to be able to do. Yeah, we had some stuff for the hair growth. It was one of the best things on the planet as well, but we no longer have that. So unfortunately, you won't be able to get that from us. But we're going to slowly but surely come back to reintroducing some of our stuff. Look, again, we're over here in South Africa, you guys. So we got to find the logistics. We got to find the herbs. We got to find the manufacturers of the stuff that we want in order to be able to send this on a bigger scale, because you ain't going to just be able to order one bottle from me from South Africa. They're going to beat you up in shipping. So instead of me beating you up in shipping, then we got to get the logistics proper so that we can get these great products back onto the website, but so that we can also be able to handle the influx of people ordering these products. One of the biggest things about being successful is when you're not prepared for it, okay? So me personally, I'm doing this by myself. You know, the business is growing very, very rapidly. So again, be patient with me. If you're getting your owner's manual, it normally takes 24 hours before you should get your owner's manual, unless there's just an influx. That's the normal wait time, okay? If you got problems with that, please email me, DM me, or get in contact with me any kind of way, and we'll get you your information as quickly as possible. But normally it's going to take about a 24-hour process after purchase before you're able to get your consultation email. Outside of that, you guys, again, one of the biggest problems of being successful is sometimes you can blow up too fast for your own good. So we want to make sure that we're strategizing, make sure that we got all of our ducks in a row so that we can facilitate each and every one of you, because I don't want to make a mistake on not one of you guys. I want to take my time on each and every one of you. I want to give you the time that you deserve. Yeah, I do be kidding about your little funky 50 measly dollars, but at the end of the day, you won't get nothing less than my hard effort. You won't get nothing less than my hard work, and you won't get nothing less than my time. So I want to make sure that I'm giving you everything for your $50 and more that you deserve than the next person. Everybody should be treated equally. You put in the equal fast share. You got an equal vote, which means you get equal time, man. So I love you guys. I appreciate all of the support. I know that this is new information. It kind of going slow. We kind of got to go around. We got a lot of new people coming into the channel that we simply still got to teach them from the rooted to the tootie of how this tool works. So bear with me if you old school. If you already got your information, go out and tell somebody about your homie HerbMan. If you're new, continue to keep tuning in and watch us keep busting you upside the head with this hot banger boogie, man. I love you guys. Until next time. Peace. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you too.